Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the University of Melbourne and to this presentation brought to you by Nicola Australia's Research Centre of Excellence in Information and Communication Technology. My name is Eugene Kaspersky. I'm the External Relations Manager of the Australian Research Laboratory at Nicola. And I'm pleased to inform you that this evening's presentation is being recorded by the Australian Broadcasting Commission's Big Ideas program for a future screening, so keep an eye out for that. The Big Picture Seminar Series aims to bring you the exciting developments in information communication technology that are shaping the world. ICT is increasingly pervasive and impacting industries and institutions for communications, health, agricultural environment, government, education, and now so for family. The series connects you with thought leaders who share their views on how information and communications technology is shaping the world we live in. This evening's presentation will be no exception. This evening's presentation is also proudly sponsored by the Melbourne School of Engineering at the University of Melbourne, which is celebrating its 150th anniversary. So Nick is very grateful for the generous support of the Melbourne School of Engineering. I'd now like to invite Cameron Schwartz to introduce our guest speaker. Cameron is the Chief Executive of the Melbourne Football Club, a position he has held since August 2008. He was previously the Chief Executive Officer of the Fremantle Dockers Football Club from 2001 to 2008, and CEO again of the Melbourne Football Club from 1997 to 1998. Cameron was the youngest general manager in league history when he joined Richmond in 1998. Cameron has completed the Master of Business Administration and Master of Marketing at the Melbourne Business School, and has also completed an advanced management program at the Harvard Business School. He has an impressive record in the management of football clubs and has demonstrated leadership and skill in reviving the financial position of the clubs he has managed. Please welcome Cameron Schwartz.
Thank you very much, and it's certainly a great honour to be here and to introduce Eugene. He's clearly a very interesting man by the turnout of people here and having another opportunity today to have a look through his resume and his background. Why the CEO of the Melbourne Football Club be introducing Eugene was we've got a relationship with Kaspersky Lab, and I'd like to bring a little bit of a prop that there's probably something which is very, very strong about this story. This is one of the our football club, the Melbourne Football Club, is one of the few sporting organisations in the world which is still actually playing the game that it created, and it did so in 1858. And so we've got this very historical, very traditional organisation, which is actually now sponsored by an organisation which is perhaps one of the most innovative organisations in the world. And even in the context of, and this is the number, if you want, number 31 is probably the most famous number ever produced by our sport, the numbers of them by operation. Proudly now handed on
my housemate.
But in doing so, we have a very innovative organisation, and we've as a competition, we had to bring what has been very almost a game which is often held back by tradition, but trying to bring it into the modern world. And in doing so, probably, and we're probably, most people would be aware of the fact that our game is just locked in another deal with media, which is worth $1.25 billion over the next 5 years for an organisation or a competition which is only played fundamentally in a major way in the southern states of Australia. Still a great sport in Sydney and Brisbane, certainly, but no doubt growing, which actually shows that our game holds an inordinate place in the hearts and minds of a lot of Australians and Victorians in particular. Because this thing is based on tradition, but what we'd like to think in terms of the media is actually how it's growing and where it's growing. And Australia is one of the great consumers of media, and the internet is now the biggest media that we now consume, certainly well ahead of any form of TV. It's also insecure media, as we're well aware, and Kaspersky has been great leaders in regard to this. And Eugene is a very interesting man in regard to doing that. Well, I was collecting football cards when I was a kid. Eugene was collecting computer viruses at the same time. And I found that an interesting contradiction, but probably one of which is actually due to me doing what I do and Eugene doing what he does. His background is one of obviously born in Russia, and he developed a love of mathematics, spending his time solving problems in mathematical journals. He also went his own extracurricular activities. I've seen Eugene in action. It's not his only extracurricular activity. I can assure you he was in physics and mathematics for gifted students organised by Moscow State University. He graduated from the Institute of Cryptography, and Telecommunications and Computer Science in 1987, majoring in mathematical engineering. After graduating, Eugene's first job was in a research institute where he began studying computer viruses after detecting one on his computer, which led to him selecting these malicious programs. And today, his antivirus database contains 4 million records, one of the most complete antivirus databases in the world. In 1997, Eugene and a number of colleagues established Kaspersky Lab. From its inception, Eugene headed the company's research efforts. He's now a globally recognised antivirus company in the top 70 of the largest software companies globally. And as I said before, very proud of the sponsors of the Melbourne Football Club to that continue. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Eugene Kaspersky to present his vision for the future.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eugene Kaspersky. By coincidence, have the same name as my company. Some people say that's a big mistake, but I think that will be, maybe that was a mistake, but not the worst one in my life. It really helps me to present my company, to present our products, our way. And just a little bit about the company. We are known as IT security vendor developing the internet security solutions, but it's just a part of of our job, part of our mission. My dream is to enjoy more secure, more safe internet, to make this world more clean, and that's why we're not just developing software services, but we also cooperate with the cyber police forces everywhere around the globe, and we assist them in case of need. So there are some very bad guys in jail in different parts of the world with help of us. And at the same time, we understand that one of the very right things to do to be more protected, to decrease level of crime in the internet, that's the user education. That's why we cooperate with universities in very different countries. We have our education program, which we share with universities. We have our teachers, which we send to universities for presentations. We train the university staff to have their IT security classes. So we pay very serious attention to education system. That's why we're here. We started our cooperation with universities in Australia. So I hope at the end of all that Australia will be much more secure. Because I heard a very bad news that Australia is going to be to have a much better internet connection. That's very dangerous. That opens more doors for cyber criminals from the rest of the world to Australian victims. That's why we have to educate Australians. We have to share their knowledge about IT security and basic rules, what to do and what not to do in the internet, in mobile networks, in the future digital networks, which we don't know about at the moment. So that's why I'm here, that's why I have this presentation today, and I'm going to share my view on the future of the digital world and the future of digital security. I have this presentation for many years, and it's changed year by year because the environment has been changed. There are new threats, there are new devices and services, and believe me, to work in IT security industry is very interesting because everything is being changed. The next year is absolutely not the same as the previous one. In terms of IT environment, in terms of cybercrime, in terms of IT security. So, during my presentation, I have some stories, very nice pictures, maybe. So, I hope I'm sure you will enjoy that. Okay, so, first of all, just to have this basic of my presentation is a digital ecosystem. What's that? It means that everyone depends on the internet. Everyone is in the internet. Individuals, businesses, governments, everyone. Do you have any idea of the business which doesn't depend on a computer system? Do you? Well, I have a hint. Every business pays taxes. So we have to have computers to fill the financial form. So only businesses which don't pay taxes they can be internet free. So let's say that, well, maybe some people from the lost tribes in some Amazon River region, Amazon. Well, I don't know Kumpo. So maybe which are not discovered yet. They don't depend on the internet. The rest, everyone is directly or indirectly connected to computer systems. And all this parameter is based on their hardware, software, services, on their digital environment, which everyone has in the pocket, on the table, at home, in the office, and which everyone uses. And unfortunately, this ecosystem is under attack. And who is responsible for it? Who is writing viruses? First of all, who were writing viruses in the past? Anyone in the room? Well, there were kids, students, young people. Well, sometimes they were like 35, 36, but still young in mind. So they were just like, they were hooligans. They were not serious. They were just cyber vendors. I call it computer graffiti. At the same time, there were virus researchers. We developed viruses they innovate virus technologies, like the first virus for Microsoft Windows. By the way, do you know when the first virus was written and released? No. That was 82. 82. The American students wrote a computer program which was a virus for Apple II computers. So the Apple computers there were the first victim of computer virus. Well, so there was just researchers which wrote the first virus for Microsoft Windows, the first virus for their smartphone, the first virus for Android, the first virus for what else? So there were researchers and hooligans. and they were replaced with cyber criminals. Because their kids, students, they don't have time for viruses now. There are less and less computer viruses written by kids and students. Simply because kids and students, they don't have time. They play computer games. So, I remember when I was a student, that was, of course, that was a very, very difficult to be a student because I don't have time at all. But my generation, that was much easier than now because when I was young, there was just, you had to split your time between education and girls. Now it's much more complicated because education, girls, and internet. I have no idea how the new generation can sleep when. So they were replacing with cybercrime. Cybercriminals, they are professional people, most of them are very professional, which developed malware just for money. So they earn a lot, and I'm going to explain that later. There is also another group of bad guys, I call them hacktivists, which develop malware, which attack internet resources because of political or religious reasons. So they don't that for profit. They infect, they destroy, or they change the information for ideas. And now there are other sources of malware, of cyber attacks. That's governments or secret services or anti-government organizations. And we have the first example of such a malware, Stuxnet. Does everyone here in the room? Who doesn't know? Anyone here who never heard about Stuxnet? Okay, so Stuxnet, that's a new malware. It was found last year, summer last year. And it was designed to destroy nuclear facilities in Iran. Malware which managed to infect computers in a nuclear, what's that? I'm not native English speaker. Uranium enrichment centrifuges in Natanz, the Iranian nuclear station. And the virus was designed to infect computers there and to modify their industrial computer systems, which manage the rest of the process. So that was a virus to damage industrial systems. And as far as I know, they did it. So that was, I think that was several $1 million project to develop such a malware. There are some sources say that that was a project which was made by Israeli secret services and United States. That's the first example of their cyber weapons. That was the act of cyber sabotage, or well, cyber terrorism, or cyber sabotage, or cyber war. That depends from which side of the picture of which. So there are new sources of malware. Fortunately, we don't have many incidents, but I'm afraid that's just the beginning of the story, and I'm afraid that governments and anti-governments will use malware and IT systems to attack the critical industrial infrastructure. So everyone is under attack. It's not just individuals, not only businesses, not only government, but also industrial systems. And actually, we depend on the internet. Now, where is the internet? Most of what we do, they directly or indirectly depends on the computer system. And unfortunately, it's a very insecure environment. So, is it possible to design secure environment? I think yes. And in my presentation, at the end of my presentation, I have some ideas about that. But before that, I just want to explain how deep we are in the internet, in the digital networks. Everything is online. Governments, they dream about online elections, about online government systems. And it's not a question, do they want or not want to do that, to be online. The reality is that new generation, kids, they're 100% online. Kids will never go to election offices. They will want to have it online. You have kids, you know that, hey, why don't you go to the street to meet your friends? I don't want to go to the street because my friends are online. They live online. So if we don't have, in 15, 20 years, if we don't have secure online election system, that's the end of democracy. They will never go to election office. Never. Forget about it. So government will be 100% online very, very soon because it's reality. It's like a flood in Queensland, yes? It's far away from you, but businesses, of course, yes. Only illegal businesses can stay away from internet and from computer systems. Games, yeah. And congratulations about the new Duke Nukem release. I read the news, so that was my favorite game. And that's why I don't play computer games, so maybe I will get back this time. Knowledge, education. How many people here in the room opened the paper printed encyclopedia this year? Okay, I'm in university. How many people in the room never visited Wikipedia this year? Much less. That's one. And you know it better than I do. How many people don't have accounts in the social network? Oh, that's a good result. So, how many people have accounts in 2 or more social networks?
Yeah, okay.
How many people have accounts in 5 or more networks?
Oh, no, come on.
What do you do in your office? Please have a list of the names. I want to report them. Okay, I know that now, so this don't need to put him on the list, I know this. Well, the private life as well, because there are pictures, videos, hotels, everything is digital. And everything is online. Everything is online, and unfortunately, including cybercrime. The criminals are online as well, and cybercrime, the online crime, is global. It's everywhere. So there are pictures of people who were arrested. That's why we know these people. The man from Taiwan, Algeria, as far as I remember. I don't remember United States, Israel. I don't remember these two from Russia. They are not arrested. As far as I know, they're still wanted by Russian police. They just escaped. If you see these people on the street,
yeah.
It's everywhere, and the main source of malware, I'm not talking about all the cybercrime, I'm talking just about malware. Actually, we can recognize the language which is spoken by a person who developed the malware. So most of malware speaks Chinese. So China is one of their source number 1. And again, we are not sure about the country. We are sure about the language which is spoken by the malware author. So that could be China, or maybe Singapore, maybe Malaysia, maybe Australia. The second source is Spanish and Portuguese-speaking countries, mostly Latin America, mostly Brazil, but Spain, Portugal as well. Also Spanish-speaking countries, California, Texas, Florida. And I'm sorry that the third source of and the most complicated malware is from Russian-speaking countries. Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Baltic countries, New York, Seattle. There were groups of Russian cyber criminals, which are Americans. They were arrested in New York. But recently they are native Russian speakers. They are former citizens of one of Russian speaking countries. And everywhere. The malware is coming from everywhere, including Australia. No, not so much. If you compare it to China or Chinese, Spanish, Portuguese, and Russian speaking malware, it's almost zero. But anyway, from Australia as well, that was a mistake to have New Zealand. Malware from New Zealand. And unfortunately, their online crime is very effective. If they want to do, they will do that. Example, they use the botnet. 10 million infected computers. 10 million infected machines which are managed from the same source. There is someone or the gang who has access to 10 or more million infected computers. What's possible to do with 10 million infected zombies? 10 million soldiers. What's not possible? Well, it's a huge army, and I call it a bomb in the internet. If you remember Estonia, when Estonia was disconnected from the internet, Estonia was sent offline for a couple of days in 2007. There were about up to 50,000 computers in the botnet to disconnect Estonia, to crash Estonian IT resources. 50,000, 3 million countries, 3 million people country. So 500,000 is enough to stop 30 million people country. Do you know such a country? Well, when I had a similar representation in the United States, I said, okay, so 5 million computers, maybe that's enough to send offline 300 million countries. And in the United States, I said, okay, do you have any idea about 300 million people countries? I said, yes. So that's 5 million computers. Maybe, technically, I think it's possible. Well, we never tried it. But I'm afraid 10 million infected computers in the same botnet, technically that's possible to defragment global internet into the nation segment. I'm afraid it's possible. But later there was a report about one more botnet, which had 13 million infected machines. I'm afraid cyber criminals or people who are worse than cyber criminals, they can have a very powerful weapon in their hands. Well, that's a little bit old story. Google Chinese attack. Do you remember that? There was a Google was hacked, and there was a direct attack, and they managed to crack into their Google network. And this story happens every day with many different companies. Businesses simply they just keep silent. They don't want to ruin the reputation of the business. But today I'd like to replace this Google attack with a Sony hack. Why do you smile? That's a bad story, actually. So their cybercrime is very effective. If they want to hack, it's just a question of how much money they can allocate on the attack. And Estonia, the country was sent offline. Unfortunately, cybercrime, they are powerful enough to do anything they want. And it's organized. It's not like mafia. It's not organization like Godfather, family, manager, soldiers. No. That's economy. Different gangs and individuals, they trade to each other. Some of them are responsible for malware development, and they trade this malware to others. Others, they use this malware to infect computers and they trade access to this infected network. Others, they are trading the information which was stolen from infected machines. Others, they run DDoS, distributed attacks against some victims, and they have money to destroy these internet resources. So that's a very big industry, and I'm not surprised if this illegal internet-based crime is a second criminal business after the drug barons in Latin America. I'm not surprised if illegal weapons trading is number 3 after cybercrime. Well, of course, we don't have any hard data because cybercriminals, they don't pay taxes and they don't report their financial results to financial analytic agencies like Gartner or IDC. But the smell is that this business is huge enough. And well, I have a screenshot. It's a very old screenshot, maybe 3 years old screenshot, but it's my favorite one. Some of the bad guys, some of the cyber criminals, they have web resources and they trade their services with the help of web resources. So this is a price list for botnet. So they trade access to the botnet. And depending on how many machines you want and how many days you want to use this botnet, there are different prices. There is a message that if some computers are disinfected, you get money back. Then they say there's a message about discounts if you buy it 2 or more times. Then there's ICQ numbers for technical support. And then if you, well, I think you can read terms of service. Some of them, it's not on this page, but some of them, they have a press release. Some of them, they have forums, online chats. They have online technical support. Couple of times I had reports about partner conference. They are businesses. They have partners. So they call for their partners from countryside hotel, and they just have a partner conference. Or somewhere on an island. Well, I heard about one conference, unfortunately, in the countryside close to Moscow. There was Russian cyber criminals. And also there was a partner conference, cyber criminal partner conference, European conference in one island, on some island in Mediterranean. They have partner conferences. They are businesses. That's why I call them C2C, like B2C business to customer, B2B business to business, C2C criminals to criminals. And they are all organized in a bit different ways. Sometimes they have links to traditional crime. You may Google 9 million ATM hackers. That was 2 years back, 3 years back, once again, Russian cyber criminals. I'm sorry for that. They are from St. Petersburg, not from Moscow. They hacked the Bank of Scotland, but actually the United States branch of Bank of Scotland. They hacked that, and they had credit card numbers and PIN codes database stolen. They printed fake credit cards. They distributed these credit cards around the globe. As far as I remember, there were more than 40 cities where ATMs everywhere, in the United States, in Europe, in Russia, in Tokyo, Hong Kong, there were incidents with fake credit cards. So actually, criminals employ traditional state criminals. And there's an answer for the question. I had this question many times. Many people ask me, do you think it's possible that mafia or traditional crime employs cyber criminals? I said no. Cyber criminals have more money. They will employ mafia in traditional. That's just an example of that. So these guys they are organized. Unfortunately, they are profitable. That's mostly. Believe me, Moscow streets don't look like that every day. So that was a result of illegal street racing and young cyber criminal death in a new BMW 7. So they have money for that. The biggest, world's largest bank robbery almost happened in London. The gang, international gang, managed by, I call him, fake lord. He had a paper that he is lord, British lord, but the paper was fake. So he managed a team of criminals, IT criminals, cyber criminals from UK, from France, and from some Nordic countries, as far as I remember. So they had Sumitomo Bank branch in London. They injected the keylogger program into the network, and actually they had a physical access to the network because there was insider, the man from security, bank security, who helped them to get access, physical access to the bank network. So they infected the network with a keylogger, and they had full access to the data which is typed by employees. As far as I know, they understood which servers, which office places they are responsible for transactions, bank transactions. So they had all the logins and passwords to the transaction servers. One day, that was Friday night, I know it from the report. Friday night, this gang came to the bank. Security man opened the door. They came to the computer and they tried to make the transaction. There were several transactions to different bank accounts, and the sum was 229 million British pounds. It's the world's largest robbery. They failed because they were IT people, not financial. So they failed to fill the form. So they left the bank, and maybe they have some financial losses. And for the extra security. Just as if the cyber criminals will need to adapt to the new reality, and not all of them can pass their new level of the security. So I think that it will stop most of cyber criminals. And of course, it's not possible to stop 100% of cyber criminals, but it's possible to reduce the number, to control the population of cyber criminals. And I think it's a very right way to do that. And anyway, there will be need of IT, security, technologies, products, and services. And of course, there will be need of the IT security knowledge and education. That's it.
We have time for a number of questions, and I think
5 minutes, I'm sorry. I will go on. So. You were listening to such attention that I couldn't stop.
So there's a couple of microphones in the room. If you want to raise your hand for this question, we'll endeavour to get them to you as soon as possible. Any questions off the back, please? Okay. Let's go with that.
Please ask a question in English, not Australian.
Yes. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen, if you want. Okay. Great presentation, by the way. Just wanted to ask you, what do you think the biggest challenge is in the future for a company such as yours?
Well, actually, I have an answer, but it's quite simple. The big challenge is to understand motivations of cyber criminals, to understand and predict next steps of the bad guys, and to keep our technologies and products ready to address problems of the future problems of cyber security. Plus, to help governments, to assist governments, advise governments to build international regulation for digital systems, and to educate people, and not to die on the way. Okay.
I would like to ask about your research and development activities. Research and development at Kaspersky. Do you guys actually try to make viruses and stuff like that for your research and to improve your software?
We don't need that. To test our technologies, we need to develop the real malware. We have this just kind of concept of the new ways of attack. Okay, the story. Back in the past, somewhere at the end of 19th, before internet wars, before malware which used internet in an active way, before I love you, Melissa, before all this epidemics, before Blaster, years before that, I said to my guys in my team, I said that I'm afraid that the new type of malware is coming, the new internet worms, which will use email, web, internet connection to spread from a computer to computer. And I told to my guys, please, I need to have some concepts in my head. I need you to develop web page or email. If I visit this web page or if I open the email, there has to be a hello world executable has to be created on the disk, and this executable must be executed automatically. So just visit the web page, click the email, and you have the executable started on your computer. So it's like a proof of concept of the future internet world. After 1 week, they did it. They found a vulnerability in the Microsoft Excel. They made HTML email with the iframe tag in there, and they had the Microsoft Excel document attached, which had the size of 1 pixel by 1 pixel, not visible in the email. And in this Excel, there was a formula in one of the cells, which was written white on white. In such an email, you open that, so the worm automatically, this executable automatically was dropped on the disk and executed. I said, okay, so let's prototype, and we reported that to Microsoft. And I said, okay, so this is the future of email worms or internet worms. I was right. Because internet users simply clicked such a file. There was a very big vulnerability in brain. That's a very, very serious issue, because to protect, it's not enough to have the IT security software, hardware, whatever. It also needs to have your brain switched on. But unfortunately, it's possible to cheat everyone. Sometimes it's not possible to be not infected. Once I came to the hotel, and that was in Greece. I came to the hotel, and first thing to do, I travel a lot. So I travel from country to country, from city to city. Here in Australia for 2 weeks. Surface Paradise for the conference, only for the conference. Surface Paradise, Sydney, Melbourne. So the first to do when you get to the hotel, of course, you check in, and so you get to the room, and first to do in the room, connect to the internet. And so I connected to the internet, there was just a standard web page to pay for the internet access, and that page was infected. So you can't get on the internet without the infected web page. Thanks God I had a very good antivirus policy.
Sony was very coy about the recent attack on their clients. They stated that they weren't sure when the 77 million credit card details and other details had been hacked. Do you know whether, in fact, criminals got those 77 million credit card details?
I still don't have any details about this issue. I know the information which I got from the internet, the same information which you know. So I don't have any details from other sources at the moment.
But should Sony know whether these details are being stolen or not?
So Sony to inform the customers, you mean?
Well, do they actually know whether they've been stolen? They said that they didn't know if they've been stolen.
But I have a little bit different issue about Sony. I think that one of the reasons Sony was a victim of such an attack is the fact that Sony was quite flexible with the security issues. Do you remember Sony Ruski? I think that's just the same, just in one line, incident in one line. I'm sorry, I'm afraid that I have to go. I think that you can ask more questions where online. Maybe if we have on our website, we have a special page for the questions or something like that. So you are welcome to our webpage. Don't buy that. Okay, thank you very much.
We'll go home tomorrow to children on the security system or security. So we've got 10 door prizes. Usually, would you be kind enough to draw out 10 cards, please? And,
10 cards. What's that? The little. Oh, it's a little basket. Yeah. We'll put their own cards in, you know. Yeah, I know. Well, you put 10 of your own cards in. You got more cards, haven't you? Stop that. Geez, antivirus. Yeah. Character. Yeah, character. Got a bit of sense of humour. That's what you need. Did you pop a card in? Yeah. Yeah. Same, homemade one. Yeah. Are they the winners or no? Oh, they're late comers. Oh shoot! Classic. Just got breakfast tomorrow. I'll try to get. Oh yeah. Yeah, right. Corporate. Sorry, unfortunately, it's a big I get like, yeah.
It's empty.
Empty. That's sweet. Empty. That's. That's Cybercrime. You said I've got to go. It's hardly that to listen.
Vince Seston. One, two, no, I'm going to do this. So, don't call me you. One way leave. Branson. Edward.
Two brothers.
And Alan Olson.
You know it's not. I know it's not. You got the main part to leave, you know? Otherwise they'll be straight away. He's presented him like personally, that's good. Huh? Yeah.
Eugene Kaspersky. Yes, you can drop more into the trash. Glad it's quick. What's it?
There you go.